Okay, we need to talk about the Viture Luma glasses, because I expected a simple portable screen, but Viture had a couple of surprises I did not see coming. These are the Viture Luma Pro and this is the Viture Luma Ultra, or one of the two. They look almost identical, but a few key differences really matter, and we'll get into that. So I've had Viture's glasses for a while, but I never did a full review because I ran into some bugs. Recently though, they've been stepping it up, posting a ton of updates, and some of the new features, especially the 2D to 3D conversion, honestly stunned me. And there's one accessory I've loved from day one that literally no other glasses can do right now. It makes these way more fun if you're not using them alone. I'll show you that later. So today we're comparing the Pro and the Ultra, and I'll share my full thoughts on Viture's ecosystem, the glasses, software, and accessories that make them way more interesting than I expected. I'm Cass, your XR explorer for almost 9 years. Subscribe to join me beyond reality. First, what are these exactly? Well, on their own, the Viture Luma glasses are video glasses, so you plug them into a device and you get a big virtual screen for gaming, movies, or work. Very similar idea to Accessory and other display glasses. They work with most USB-C devices that support display ports, so many Android phones, Macs, PCs, and handhelds like the Steam Deck. If you're unsure, Viture has a compatibility list on their site. Out of the box, they simply mirror your screen. These are not AR glasses on their own. The AR style features only show up when you use their software, and sometimes the Neckband Pro. We'll get into that later. But let's talk about how they actually look when you wear them. Both the Pro and the Ultra use birdbath optics with a 52-degree view to view, and they share the same resolution and myopia adjustment, so the core image quality is very similar between the two. Colors are great, blacks are nice and deep, and the screen feels huge. The first time I put them on, I honestly thought, wow, that's a big screen. It's wide enough that you can even see the very far edges, but with most video glasses you do need to find that sweet spot on your nose, because if they sit slightly off, the edges can be cropped even more, get a bit blurry, especially with small text, or you might see some chromatic aberration rainbow effects. You get extra nose pads in the box, so it's worth taking the time to adjust them so you can see the full screen clearly. Overall, in terms of clarity and colors, they are on par with other high-end video glasses out there. But here's where it gets interesting. Viture's secret sauce is their software called SpaceWalker. On phones, SpaceWalker gives you a simple home menu with basic apps like a media player, a browser, and on iPhone, a few pre-installed apps such as Xbox Cloud Gaming and Moonlight for streaming your PC or Steam, which is cool. You can also use your phone as a laser pointer or a trackpad, which helps a lot because without the app, you'd still have to look at your phone to see where you're touching, and you know I always like to do it the lazy way. But here's the cool part. This app lets you turn 2D into 3D instantly. With one tap, you can view all your photos and videos in 3D, and it even works on online videos. I'll show you more of this in a bit because it surprised me a lot. On USB-C iPhones, you can buy a small $57 adapter to unlock things like hat tracking, 3DoF pin mode, 360 VR video playback, and automatic 3D modes for side-by-side and spatial videos, which works well, but this adapter currently only works on the Luma Pro and not the Ultra, as the Ultra is getting its own adapter. Thankfully, Android just works out of the box without an adapter needed. Love you, Android. That said, 3DoF has been a bit of a hit and miss for me. Sometimes it works and sometimes it just takes a coffee break. On PC or Mac, SpaceWalker gives you multiple virtual monitors, side-by-side layouts, stacked screens, an ultra-wide mode, and even a coding mode with 2 portrait screens. It's great for productivity, but remember, the field of view is limited, so you will need to move your head a bit to see everything. And if you want 3D on Windows or Mac, you will need the immersive 3D app, which turns your whole desktop into 3D. And honestly, it looks really nice, like the like you're gonna give me now. please. So let's talk about the instant 2D to 3D conversion, because this is what surprised me the most. Viture calls it immersive 3D, and behind the scenes it uses AI, of course, plus their own algorithms to add depth to regular 2D content in real time. So you open the app, connect your glasses, and suddenly your flat screen just pops into layers and depth. My honest reaction? Instant wow effect. I tried it on YouTube videos and it did a great job separating foreground and background, and it doesn't have that old school cheesy 3D look. It's just beautiful 3D. And the best part, it works on basically anything you display. It even turned my entire Mac OS desktop into 3D. So if I put one window in front of another, it actually looks like it's floating in front of it. Icons, windows, menus, the whole UI gets this nice depth effect that looks surprisingly good. I wish I could show you the 3D on a flat video like this one, but unfortunately I'm not a witch, so you just have to trust me. But it's not perfect. I've had a few crashes and I had to restart the app here and there, but when it works, it's honestly one of the most killer features I've used in any XR display glasses. Wonderful job, Viture. Now, as much as I love that feature, reality kicks in once you start plugging the glasses into different devices, and this part isn't always smooth. If you want the extra features like 3DoF tracking, sometimes it's plug and play and sometimes it's more of a tinkerer mode. Viture does have guides for most devices and they do help, but I still think it's a shame the glasses don't have built-in 3DoF like the Xperia 1 Pro does, because that would make everything much more just works, which my lazy ass definitely prefers. But to be fair, it is a one-time setup, so if you don't mind a little tinkering, it is manageable. But okay, let's put the tinkering aside for a second. If you're choosing between the Pro and the Ultra, here are the differences that actually matter. But what is the same? First, field of view, same resolution, same myopia adjustment, same electrochromic dimming, same general visual quality. The differences are brightness. Pro goes up to 1000 nits, Ultra goes up to 1500 nits. Then cameras and tracking. Pro only has one front RGB camera meant for basic tracking with 3DoF and planned one camera 6DoF, which doesn't work yet at the time of making this video. Ultra has one front RGB plus two grayscale side cameras for better 6DoF tracking. And only the Ultra has a built-in microphone. The Pro is about $499, the Ultra is about $599. So that extra $100 isn't for more pixels or a wider field of view, you're mostly paying for more brightness and better tracking hardware. So which one should you choose? Well, honestly, the Pro already does plenty if you just want a high quality portables display for gaming, movies, or productivity. The core visual experience is basically the same as the Ultra and you save money, so it's a solid pick if you don't need the extra features. The Ultra is for people who want more, better tracking, hand gestures, and the mixed reality features, and I'll show you what that actually opens up later in the video. But if you want that natural feeling where you can lean forward and the screen actually gets closer, like in real life, what happens when you're sitting behind the laptop, then the Ultra just feels better to use. For the $100 difference, I'd personally go for the Ultra because full 6DoF makes the glasses more stable and more immersive. It's also the model that feels like it will benefit the most from future software updates, since it has the extra hardware to support them. That said, before you buy it, you should know it's not perfect. Stability in SpaceWalker has been a mixed bag for me. A few months ago, it was honestly almost unusable, especially with stabilization. Things have improved a lot since then, but it's still not as smooth as you want. There's some warping, a bit of shakiness when you move your head, and the screen still drifts over time. The good news is that this is probably software fixable and they've already added helpful options like a quick resender button. I mean, it's not bad anymore and it's definitely usable, but compared to Xperia 1 Pro, Xperia is more stable and the built-in stabilization and 3DoF makes it much easier to use with a variety of devices. Viture is getting closer with updates, but there's definitely room to improve in terms of smoothness and reliability. Plus, before you consider these glasses, Viture has a new version coming out called the Beast, and I'm gonna review that as well. So we'll see. But with that out of the way, there is one more thing that really surprised me, and that is an accessory that becomes amazing if you're not using these glasses alone, and no other XR glasses are doing this right now. This is the Viture Pro mobile dock. It's a 13,000 mAh power bank and the only accessory I've seen that lets you connect two pairs of glasses at once to share the same screen over USB-C and HDMI. That means you and your friend each get your own big virtual screen while playing on the same device. So with the gaming console, you can play local co-op, couch co-op on a plane, or plug in the phone and watch movies together without crowding around a tiny display. Meanwhile, the person next to you is still squinting at the in-flight screen from 1997. Ha. It also doubles as a Switch dock, since the Switch can't send video over USB-C like I said, so if you want to use these glasses with the Switch or Switch 2, you basically need this. Battery-wise, Viture claims it adds hours of extra play, around 8 hours with the Switch, about 3 hours with the Steam Deck, and even more with some HDMI devices. I think we got around 4 hours with the Switch in an airplane with two glasses plugged in, so it really does depend on what you do with it. But now you know you get 3 things in one: co-op mode, Switch support, and extra battery. And honestly, the co-op part is my favorite, because if you travel with someone, playing a co-op Switch game with 2 big screens on a long flight is just amazing. So I have tried this dock with other glasses too, and sometimes it works, but it's not reliable. Sometimes it just won't connect, or the colors look off, which is a shame, because it would be nice if people could buy this if it worked with other XR glasses, but I get why they keep it in their own ecosystem. So that's the dock, but Viture did not stop there. They made another accessory that changes how you use the glasses. The Neckband Pro is around $249 and is the first Google Play certified device you wear on your neck. My neck has never felt so productive. Think of it like an X-Fuel Beam Pro. It basically turns your glasses into a tiny Google TV style device you can take anywhere. It runs Android with the Google Play, so you can install streaming apps, cloud gaming apps, remote play, and the emulators, you know, the usual stuff. But what's special is that it unlocks support for multiple virtual screens, 3DOF, voice commands through Google Assistant, and even hand gestures using its own built-in camera, and that unlocks on both glasses. So you can pick between 2 versions, 8 gigs RAM and 128 gigs storage, or 12 gigs RAM and 256 gigs storage, and it has Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.2, USB-C, and you can connect keyboards, mice, or controllers, so you can basically turn it into a portable gaming or productivity device. There's also a built-in mic, and you can control it through a phone app or with the hand tracking. Now here's the thing, the only real feature this gives you that your phone can't is the hand tracking, which actually works surprisingly well. It's accurate, intuitive, and fun to use. The neckband also unlocks the 6DOF apps, but these only work with the Ultra glasses, since the Ultra is the only one with full 6DOF tracking, remember? There are 3 apps that show this off: Solar System, walk around planets and learn about them; Ghost Party, a small AR game; Dream Brush, which lets you draw in 3D space. The cool thing is that this is real AR. You can actually walk around your virtual objects and they stay in place, and you can reach out and you can do stuff with it with your hands. But it's still early and more of a showcase. There aren't many useful or addictive 6DOF apps yet, and it's unclear if developers will build for a device this niche. So no, I would not buy the neckband just for this. I did find that the apps unexpectedly are more stable with stabilization than the 6DOF you get from SpaceWalker on Mac or PC. I guess it's more optimized here. Plus, I do like the design. Wearing it on your neck makes it easy to travel with, but honestly, you don't need it if you're already happy using your phone, laptop, or console with the glasses. It's more of a nice to have if you want a dedicated device that doesn't drain your phone's battery. So that's the Neckband Pro, and at this point you can probably see that it isn't just selling display glasses, they're building this whole little ecosystem around them. What I really like is how fast Viture is pushing updates and new ideas. The instant 2D to 3D conversion, the co-op mobile dock, the neckband with the hand tracking, it shows that they're trying things no one else in this space is doing. And if you want to share your screen with someone, this is the only option right now. The trade-off is the bugs and instability that comes with moving this fast. It's improved a lot, but I still ran into crashes and features that needed more tinkering than I'd like. I'm honestly a bit torn. Do I prefer something stable or something that keeps getting new features? What do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. At the very least, I hope Viture really focuses on making the whole experience more seamless, because the potential here is huge, and when it works, it works. Oh, and one more thing before we wrap up, Viture is actually doing a really cool Cyberpunk 2077 collab for the game's 5th anniversary. They're releasing a special Cyber XR Collector's Edition of the glasses. It looks awesome. If you love that neon future vibe, it will go for $549, and it has similar specs to the Ultra and the upcoming Beasts. They're only making 10,000 units, so it's definitely a limited collector's drop, but oh my effing god, I'm a huge Cyberpunk fan, so I want this. Gotta give it to them. I'm really into Viture's marketing. They're pretty good at it. And if you're in the US, you'll actually be able to try Viture in Best Buy. They will be in the gaming section, so while people are checking out the meta display, they can also test these glasses side by side. Thought that was pretty cool. I'll also put the link below if you're interested in all this, and be on the lookout for my Beast review once that's out, so subscribe and follow me on Insta if you want more.